David Walliams is suing his former bosses at Britain's Got Talent because they fired him from his £1.5 million a year job as a judge. The comedian is seeking large damages from production company Fremantle because they fired him from the ITV show in November of last year. Fans of Britain's Got Talent sometimes called David Walliams the best judge the show had ever had. His energy was unmatched, and his unique way of judging made contestants feel at ease. But David's unexpected. After being fired from Britain's Got Talent, David Walliams is reportedly suing the show's bosses. The former Little Britain star is reportedly seeking significant damages after his resignation in November, especially after the scandal that caused a stir. Was that really the reason he left, or was there something else? The truth has finally been found, but what is the full story, and why are so many people interested in what happened? Join us as we find out what really happened to David Walliams from Britain's Got Talent. David Walliams quit Britain's Got Talent after a major scandal that shocked both the show and its viewers. The comedian who had made the show so funny became the center of the biggest scandal in the show's history. This was the worst fall of his career, and everyone was left wondering what went wrong. The scandal hurt David's reputation, and the show's reputation as well. Britain's Got Talent had always been known for family-friendly entertainment, but the scandal cast a negative light on the show. The producers and fans were disappointed, but not many people know how it all started. If you're shocked, we'll tell you. David Walliams' downfall began in November 2022, when an embarrassing recording of him making inappropriate comments about Britain's Got Talent contestants was leaked. This quickly became a major news story and social media trend. Because of this, David's long time on the show was harmed. A recording that was first made public by The Guardian showed David's insulting comments during a January 2020 taping. Walliams quit after being caught on camera insulting contestants during a break in filming. In one instance, he called an older performer the C word 3 times. Walliams apologized after the transcript was leaked, saying that his comments were part of a private conversation that was never meant to be shown. Many people were shocked when they learned that David had used offensive language to talk about an older male contestant in January 2020. But the scandal didn't come to light until November 2022. The fact that the scandal took so long to come to light added to the anger when it did. The scandal had serious consequences. David was criticized, and he could no longer be on Britain's Got Talent. Many fans were left wondering how someone they had admired for so long could have done something so wrong. He was later called out, which showed that there are consequences for bad behavior and that accountability is important in all areas of life. The recording also showed another shocking comment. David had made inappropriate comments about another contestant, this time a female contestant. The scandal also raised questions about the culture behind the scenes of Britain's Got Talent. Many fans were wondering how such behavior had gone unchecked for so long. As expected, the media quickly picked up on the story, with major outlets like the Daily Mail, The Sun, and The Independent covering it in great detail. Fans were very upset, but others defended David, saying that these were private jokes that shouldn't have such harsh consequences. They said that he was just trying to be funny and wasn't trying to hurt anyone's feelings. As public pressure mounted, ITV, the network behind Britain's Got Talent, issued an official statement. They said in a statement that the show would not stand for any behavior that could hurt or offend contestants. Even though they didn't name David by name, it was clear that the statement was directed at him. As the backlash grew, David had no choice but to respond. In a surprising turn of events, David released a statement in which he said he deeply regretted what he had said. He admitted that his words were inappropriate and said he never meant to hurt anyone. However, he also stressed that the conversation was private and never meant to be made public. Although David apologized, the damage to his reputation had already been done. Some people accepted his apology and asked for forgiveness, but many others said that as a public figure, David should take more responsibility for his words. In a shocking move, David quit Britain's Got Talent just weeks after the scandal broke. But what really happened behind the scenes? Sources within the show say that David was fired, even though ITV never made an official statement about it. It was revealed that ITV had held several emergency meetings to talk about the situation and decided that David could no longer stay on the show. This was a shocking fall from grace for someone who had been a popular judge on the show for so long. It was his fourth book and by far his most successful. From TV comedies to children's books, David Walliams had talent. What's even stranger is that the other judges, including Simon Cowell, Amanda Holden, and Alicia Dixon, didn't say anything about what happened in public. According to some sources, the judges were shocked when they found out what David had said on the recording. Simon Cowell, who was close with David, even had a private conversation with him before the final decision was made. David's replacement on the judging panel was Bruno Tonioli, who had been a judge on Strictly Come Dancing. Fans had mixed feelings about this decision right away. While Bruno was an experienced judge, many thought he couldn't bring the same sense of humor to the show as David. Some fans felt that the show had lost some of its soul when David left. He had been a beloved member of the judging panel, and his funny interactions with contestants had become a trademark of the show. But that wasn't the end of the story. David later did something that no one saw coming. He sued the production company behind Britain's Got Talent, Fremantle Media, over a data protection breach. This happened after he quit the show in November 2022, which happened after private transcripts of the leak of inappropriate comments he made about contestants in 2020 happened in September 2023. He then officially sued Fremantle, saying that the release of his private conversations was an infringement of his rights. The case was settled out of court in November 2023, with Walliams reportedly receiving a seven-figure sum. But what has David Walliams been doing in his personal and professional life since leaving Britain's Got Talent? Let's find out. Britain's Got Talent has been very private. He chose to stay quiet, avoiding the media and not responding to rumors. He made no further statements about the incident. After leaving Britain's Got Talent, David almost disappeared from TV screens. There were no more playful antics on TV and no more lively exchanges with Simon Cowell. He went back to a quieter, more private life. But that didn't mean he had stopped working completely. After the 2022 scandal, major TV networks seemed hesitant to hire him again. David Walliams stopped regularly appearing at media events or on popular TV shows after the scandal. He also stopped being invited to reality and talk shows. David wrote books and produced animated movies instead of waiting for a return to TV. Even with all the controversy, he was still one of the most popular children's authors in the UK. Books like Gangster Granny Mr. Stink and The Boy in the Dress were still big hits. When David stopped watching TV, he worked on personal projects. He kept writing, grew his publishing career, and started getting his stories made into animated movies. In 2023, his book Robo-Dog was turned into an animated movie, which was a big step in his career. Voices in the movie came from famous actors, which was seen as a smart move. Instead of trying to get back to his old job on TV, David chose to invest in an industry where he had full creative control. This decision started a new chapter in his career after years of hard work. His books have sold over 1,000 copies around the world, and his stories have been translated into many languages, reaching and captivating generations of readers. People were still interested in David after his divorce from supermodel Lara Stone in 2015. Since then, he hasn't gotten married again or publicly confirmed any new relationships. His marriage to Lara was one of the most talked about in the entertainment world. They met in 2009, fell in love, and got married the next year. Their wedding was a big deal because both David and Lara were famous in their fields, Lara as a top model and David as a comedian and TV star. However, their marriage ended suddenly in 2015. The exact reason for their divorce was never fully explained, but sources said that they had very different ideas about their future. David wanted a stable family life, while Lara wanted a more independent and active lifestyle. Over time, their different ideas caused them to grow apart, and they eventually split up. After the divorce, David decided to focus on his career and his son Alfred, who became his main priority. Although he didn't post many personal details on social media, the few times he did, they were usually about Alfred and their daily activities. Fans often saw pictures of David taking his son on outdoor adventures or vacations with him. No matter how busy he was at work, he always made time for Alfred. Becoming a single father had made David more mature and helped him find happiness in life. In 2023, a shocking rumor spread about David. It was said that people said that his profile on the Raya dating app, which is known for connecting celebrities, had pictures of him with his two dogs, Bert and Ernie. But David never confirmed or denied these claims. Even though he wasn't on reality TV anymore, David still made public appearances and volunteered at charity events, especially those that helped kids. That same year, he went to the premiere of RoboDog and talked about how excited he was to see his work turned into a movie. When asked about Britain's Got Talent, he chose not to talk about it, instead focusing on his new projects. Fans hoping for a big TV comeback may have been let down, but David seemed happy with his life now, away from the stress of reality TV and the spotlight. Many stars have made successful comebacks after scandals, but it takes time and the right plan. So far, David hadn't shown any signs of planning a return. Many people thought he had purposely ended projects related to reality TV, but with David, anything could happen. Public opinion could change if he came back in a compelling project. For now, though, he didn't seem to be in a hurry. He had built a solid career that didn't depend on TV, which is something that few entertainers can do after a major scandal. And when a female contestant walked off stage, Walliams is said to have said, "She's like the slightly charming that boring girl you meet in the pub who thinks you want to F them but you don't want to F them." He has since apologized, and I don't think he should be fired from the show. His books kept selling, and movies based on his books were still being made. David's journey has been one of hard work, starting from humble beginnings before he joined Britain's Got Talent. He wasn't famous to begin with, and his rise to fame wasn't easy. David worked hard to become famous. He started out in stand-up comedy, where his unique style started to get noticed. As time went on, he got more roles on TV that made him a household name. His big break came when he became a judge on Britain's Got Talent. Let's take a quick look back at how David started his career. David Williams Carter journey. Born in London in 1971 as David Edward Williams, he grew up in a normal middle-class family. His father was an accountant. His father was an engineer, and his mother was a lab technician. David loved performing from a young age, but it wasn't easy to make it his career. While he was at the University of Bristol, David made a big decision that would change his life. It was a risky move, but fate had a plan. He joined Footlights, Cambridge University's famous comedy troupe known for producing legends like John Cleese and Stephen Fry. This is where he learned how to write scripts and act without realizing it at the time. During his time with Footlights, David met Matt Lucas, a fellow comedian who shared his love of satire. They hit it off right away and started making small comedy sketches. They had no idea that these performances would one day shape British comedy. Their hard work paid off over time, and they moved from stage shows to radio shows, trying out different characters and performance styles. But their big break didn't come overnight. Years of hard work had to go into it. In 2003, David Williams and Matt launched Little Britain, a comedy show that did more than just entertain. The show looked at modern British society by introducing a parade of strange and outrageous characters. David wasn't just playing typical roles, from the haughty aristocrats to the weird working-class oddballs. Each character had a unique personality that made viewers care about them. The characters weren't just funny, they were also brave and unpredictable, which made people think about the world around them in a new way. The show quickly became a hit, with fans all over the world. But there was another side to it that many people didn't know about. Not everyone found the portrayals funny. Some viewers thought the characters were offensive or controversial, which led to debates that made the show even more popular. Even though David Walliams was successful in comedy, he wasn't one to stay in one lane. In 2008, he surprised everyone by moving into literature. His first book, The Boy in the Dress, was a touching story about a boy who loved wearing dresses and his journey toward acceptance. The book was praised, showing that David's storytelling skills went beyond comedy. After this success, he kept writing and released a string of bestsellers, including Gangster Granny Mr. Stink and Billionaire Boy. His books were popular with kids because they were funny and had important messages about acceptance, kindness, and strength. His stories were so good that they were turned into movies and plays, making him one of the most beloved children's authors of his time. Some people even compared him to Roald Dahl. David Walliams is famous for his roles in Little Britain and Britain's Got Talent, but he's also made a big name for himself after 7 best-selling books, he's been compared to his hero Roald Dahl. Even though writing brought him new levels of success, David never left the spotlight. He stayed active in comedy and tried his hand at different roles, from acting in movies to judging high-profile TV competitions. But even as his career took off, he never forgot how hard things were in the beginning. He started out by getting turned down over and over again, and he performed in tiny bars where no one paid attention. There were times when he wondered if he was really cut out for show business, but he didn't give up. His determination finally got him on Britain's Got Talent in 2012, which changed everything. From the moment he joined the show's judges, it was clear he was different. Unlike the other judges, especially the notoriously serious Simon Cowell, David brought something new to the table. He told jokes, played pranks, and wasn't afraid to be outrageous on live TV. His presence changed the show, making it funnier. More than just a talent show, it became a place for unforgettable moments. David didn't just judge contestants based on their skills, he also judged them based on their feelings. He encouraged everyone, even the ones who weren't doing so well. This approach sometimes irritated Simon, but it also made the show more interesting. Simon was cold and calculated, while David was mischievous and unpredictable. One of the most memorable moments was when David kissed Simon on live TV without warning. The studio erupted in laughter, and even Simon, who was caught off guard, couldn't help but smile. David didn't stop there. He kept making fun of Simon season after season, even calling him the love of my life in front of millions of viewers. But David wasn't just funny, he had a heart. When a young contestant named Malachi Paul broke down in tears on stage, David didn't hesitate. He stepped down, comforted the boy, and encouraged him to keep going. This touching moment solidified David's reputation as more than just a judge, a mentor, but his style wasn't always liked. For example, he disobeyed the judge's decision by giving a contestant another chance, which led to an argument on stage. In another case, he purposely pressed the golden buzzer for an act that wasn't very good just to annoy Simon. Some people thought these actions were annoying, but others thought they made the show more exciting. Behind the scenes, David was known for changing Simon's scripts in secret, which made him read lines that weren't in the original. Even Simon, who was often annoyed, had to admit that David brought a contagious energy to Britain's Got Talent. The show was already popular, but it lacked something entertaining. David filled that void. He made the contestants feel at ease, turned awkward moments into comedy, and added a new dynamic to the panel. His effect was so great that even Amanda Holden and Alicia Dixon, who were judges, often found themselves laughing along with him. In one especially funny moment, David convinced Alicia to dance. That embarrassing moment with a contestant that everyone thought would be eliminated turned out to be one of the most talked about moments of the season. Many people watched not just for the talent, but also for David's funny antics. Did you enjoy David Walliams' time on Britain's Got Talent? Would you like to see him return? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. Also, click on the next video. You won't want to miss it on your screen.